Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer on mastering the Goethe B2 German exam. We're going to break down the exact structure and the best strategies derived directly from top preparation materials. If you're currently preparing for this exam, you already know that facing 3 hours of rigorous testing can feel incredibly overwhelming. But here's the secret. Conquering the B2 exam isn't just about how well you speak German, it's about how well you understand the test itself. So today, we're going to teach you the exact mechanics of the 2026 exam format, from decoding sneaky reading traps all the way to structuring the perfect formal email.
All right, so here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering mastering the Goethe B2, expert strategies for the reading module, perfecting texts in the writing module, a full breakdown of listening and speaking, and finally, top preparation and exam tips. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. Mastering the Goethe B2 and its overarching rules. Before we even look at individual tasks, we really need to understand what the B2 level actually means and how this modular exam operates.
Reaching B2 means you can understand complex texts, express your opinion on abstract topics, and communicate independently. But the most vital thing to grasp is the modular nature of the test itself. You've got 4 sections. There's Lesen or reading, which gives you 65 minutes, Hören or listening at about 40 minutes, Schreiben or writing for 75 minutes, and finally Sprechen or speaking, which is 15 minutes of prep and 15 minutes of actual exam time. The great thing here is that you can take all 4 modules together or individually, on paper or digitally at a testing center. And because it's modular, if you fail one section, you don't have to retake the whole exam, just that specific module.
But here is the absolute crucial point. Out of 100 possible points per module, you must hit exactly 60 to pass. And because they are graded independently, you literally cannot neglect any single section. I mean, think about it. If you get a perfect 100 in 3 modules but a 59 in the 4th, you have failed that 4th module. Every single section demands your equal respect and preparation.
Section 2. The reading module. Let's look at some expert strategies for navigating its 5 parts. This is your first major hurdle, giving you 65 minutes to complete 5 distinct reading comprehension tasks. Keep in mind, time management here is completely up to you. The examiners won't tap their watch and tell you when to move to the next part, so you've got to pace yourself so you don't get stuck.
For these reading comprehension sections, this 4-step universal strategy is going to be your absolute best friend for saving time and maintaining focus. Seriously, whatever you do, do not read the entire massive text first. You'll just forget the details anyway. Instead, read the title and introduction to get the theme. Then jump straight to the first question, highlight your keywords, and then scan the text specifically for those exact keywords.
Now, you've got to watch out for traps. Missing a single double negative or ignoring a pronoun can lead you right off a cliff, especially in parts 1 and 2. For instance, the phrase nicht überbewerten essentially means to not overrate something, or basically to take it easy. If you don't catch that nicht, you'll completely misunderstand the writer's attitude. Also, always pay attention to pronouns like in or dieser because they almost always point directly back to the answer in the previous sentence.
Let's test this keyword strategy with a real example question from Reading Part 3. It's about a historic PISA study on the German school system. The question asks, Was zeigten die Ergebnisse der damaligen PISA-Studie? Basically, what did the results of the study show at that time? Now, one of the multiple choice options claims 25% of 15-year-olds had reading and writing problems. Let's hunt for our keywords in the text.
And boom! Here is why highlighting works perfectly. The text says jeder Vierte, which perfectly aligns with the multiple choice option stating 25% of students had reading and writing problems. Jeder Vierte literally translates to every 4th, which is exactly 25%. The examiners are testing your vocabulary depth here, proving that connecting those synonyms is exactly how you secure those points.
For reading part 4, things change up a bit. You have to match opinions to headings. The catch? You'll get 8 opinions but only 7 headings, meaning 1 is just a leftover trap. To beat this, look for emotional keywords to judge if the writer has a positive or negative stance on topics like, say, buying versus renting property. If someone is writing about high prices and a fear of losing money, they clearly have a negative stance on buying, right? Spotting that helps you eliminate incorrect headings instantly.
Moving on to Section 3, the writing module, where we focus on perfecting texts and expressing your opinion. You have a generous 75 minutes here to prove you can logically structure your thoughts in written German. This module is split into 2 distinct parts, and pacing is absolutely critical. A highly recommended strategy is to spend 50 minutes on Part 1 and the remaining 25 minutes on Part 2.
You have two very different beasts to tackle here. Part 1 is a lengthy, argumentative forum post, while Part 2 is a concise, highly formal workplace communication. Part 1 requires at least 150 words, while Part 2 requires a minimum of 100 words. Let's break down exactly what the examiners want to see in each one.
For your Part 1 forum post, let's say the topic is something like plastic packaging. Using sophisticated connectors to logically link your arguments is absolutely essential for a high score. You must have a clear introduction setting up the topic. You need to firmly state your opinion, balance out the pros and cons, and connect your sentences with advanced B2 vocabulary. We're talking words like allerdings for however, or daher for therefore.
For Part 2, it's all about tone. Using polite subjunctive to structures like wäre es möglich, meaning would it be possible, will ensure your tone is perfectly professional when you need to formally ask your boss for time off to move apartments. You have to clearly explain your situation, show understanding for the company's busy schedule, and propose a solution. This level of polite, formal German is exactly what secures top marks.
All right, Section 4, the listening and speaking breakdown. Let's move to the audio and oral assessments, which test your real-time comprehension and your ability to formulate spontaneous reactions. These modules demand intense concentration because, unlike reading and writing, you cannot control the pace.
The absolute golden rule for the 40-minute listening module is knowing exactly which tracks play twice and which tracks only play once. You have to know when to maximize your concentration. Parts 1 and 3 are played only once. If you miss it, it's gone. But for parts 2 and 4, you hear the audio twice. That means you can get a broad overview the first time and actively hunt for specific answers on the second listen. And a quick pro tip: always read the questions before the audio even starts.
Now, the speaking exam might seem super intimidating, but look at this timeline. You actually get 15 full minutes of quiet, solo prep time with a pen and paper before you even say a word to the examiners. First, you'll deliver a 4-minute solo presentation, choosing between 2 topics, and then you dive right into a 5-minute pro and con discussion with your exam partner.
During that partner discussion, examiners aren't just listening for flawless grammar. They really want to see you spontaneously react, build on your partner's arguments, and use clear conversational structures. You must use Redemittel, which are standardized conversational phrases. Dropping a meiner Meinung nach or dem stimme ich zu shows the examiner you can fluently organize your thoughts and politely engage in a debate, just like you would in a real-world German office.
Finally, Section 5, Top Preparation and Exam Tips. We've thoroughly broken down all the modules, so let's finalize this explainer with some overarching strategies to set you up for success. Because knowing the rules is only half the battle. Training your brain to execute them under pressure is what actually gets you the certificate. You absolutely must simulate real exam conditions during your studies. This means taking a full mock exam with a strict timer, no breaks, and no dictionaries. Failing to finish the reading or writing modules on time is a hugely common mistake. Focus heavily on your weakest links. If listening is tough, immerse yourself in German podcasts. And most importantly, get your writing and speaking evaluated by experts or native speakers, because you literally cannot fix mistakes you don't even know you're making.
So with all these rules, examples, and expert strategies at your fingertips, you are well on your way to totally mastering the Goethe B2 exam. The only question left is, which module will you conquer first? Dive into those mock exams, trust the strategies we've outlined today, and take that next big step in your German language journey. You've got this.